Hello, everybody. I am Daniel Ng, Vice President of Marketing for Neo4j here in Asia Pacific. Today, I have the great pleasure of having Chris Lewin, the Executive Director of Deloitte Consulting Southeast Asia, with us. And we will talk about a little bit about how our partnership, what we do together, and how we benefit customers in what we call relationship matters. Partners are key to any organization coming into Asia Pacific in terms of coverage, in terms of solutions, and in terms of value to our customers. So with us here, we have Chris Lewin, where we have Deloitte as our partner in Southeast Asia. I would like to kind of start the conversation with Chris on why the partnership. Chris?
Thanks, Daniel. So ultimately, our job at Deloitte is to help our clients with their strategic transformation, so that the changes they want to drive across their business. And what we're seeing is that graph, and especially knowledge graph, is getting more and more relevance, more and more acceptance, and really being a key cog in that transformation process for our clients. It's now at a stage early adopters are seeing significant benefits in their operations, and we're seeing this balance of both data science use cases, say fraud, similarity analysis, and also things like intelligent discovery around supply chain optimization. So why the partnership? Because it's relevant for our clients, because it's driving real outcomes for our clients.
Great. I think in Neo4j, we look to our partners, obviously ourselves, for three types of positioning. One, I think the relationship with Deloitte definitely brought forth thought leadership, right? You guys are in the forefront of understanding, where the market is going with their needs, and through your consultancy practice, you understand, how to implement this. So I think thought leadership in subject matter like supply chain, using knowledge graph. I think the other one is, I think you took it forward to develop a solution, and solution leadership, through this partnership is critical for us. Neo4j, with humility, is a platform. So we're very good at building relationship between data points. But when you get up to the solution level, like what you say, Chris, whether it's fraud detection, supply chain, and so forth, we really love to work with partners in terms of bringing that forth. Now, the last one, that definitely not the least, is what we call technology leadership. I think that's where Deloitte could, and can trust Neo4j in bringing that forth in terms of scalability, getting into 1.2 trillion relationship kind of graphs, but also very importantly, speed, right? Graphs are kind of useless if the speed is not there, right? When I think, if I may, one of the things that a lot of partners say to us in leveraging our technology is that the tables of rows and columns were good during their time, but when you need speed with milliseconds, nanoseconds, for example, like the tracking of COVID, I know it's a word that not many people would like to hear again, but it is important to manage that the spread. So we look at it as thought leadership, which we are working with you on, and solution leadership, which you are providing, and I think we play a greater role in the technology leadership piece. So we thought building foundation for scalable petabyte scales and performance that are blazing fast is important. So could you talk to me a little bit about the solution that you provide through Deloitte?
Sure. So interesting talking about scale. I think it's a really good point when it comes to where graph can be particularly applicable. One topic that's very hot in the market, almost with every single client we talk to now, is this concept of customer 360, or customer 360 into some sort of decision engines, into market channel omni-channel optimization. And the role Graph, where we've seen Graph and Neo4j play a really useful role there, is at the beginning of that insight. What you need is fast, updated entity resolution, identity resolution, what that customer and that customer's relationships looks like, but also the event tracking of say click streams and things like that. And those are two domains where, as you scale up, Graph really has some inherent advantages of doing that in real time, being able to build and understand richer connections, which give you better models downstream when it comes to prediction and prescription and the marketing actions or sales or service actions you want to take. So, clearly, if you break open this big challenge, which is customer 360, Graph has a very specific key differentiated role that works well. You mentioned supply chain optimization. So again, that's another area where we're working hand in hand with Neo4j in terms of some really large scale operations optimization, route planning, those sorts of things for clients where Graph just can do it better. So the queries on Graph are a lot more efficient. The effectiveness of the insights you can get out in terms of your optimization is really helpful in driving that through. And again, that's another area where being able to do things quickly and at scale is helpful. That's not where the conversation stops, though. So I think the last solution leadership one that we've found, or we see a lot of potential in, and we found quite a lot of success with, is actually market intelligence. So competitive intelligence, where one of the problems or one of the challenges that our clients are often looking to solve these days is how do I match this external data with internal data, and the how do I put a trust score, or how do I understand the relevance of that external data as I bring it in? And this may be for market intelligence, it may be for ESG purposes as well. And again, bringing that into a knowledge graph structure lets you kind of have a bit better scoring in terms of the validity of all that information that's out there and how you bring it in and combine it with your internal information. So lots of places that we see these solutions being applied, but also it is a distinct technology, and if you choose to use it where it's going to make a difference, it does make a big difference in some of those key business challenges.
Brilliant, Chris. Spoken like a true solution leader. I think what we see daily is a lot of people come to us and ask us about what use case should I be doing. And frankly, we are very, very happy to have Deloitte fill that gap for us, because frankly, we're not a subject matter expert in industry. We're subject matter expert in technology of graph. And therefore, having that understanding of industry requirement, use case requirement, like fraud detection, that is now applicable not just in banking and finance, but in gaming and in internet e-commerce purchases. Needs that kind of depth to be able to bring it together. Great. I mean, that's a snapshot of where we are today. What is Deloitte's vision on graphs and knowledge graph going forward?
Yeah, I think, and this is pretty exciting. So I would say one of the things I enjoy when my team gets to work or get exposed to a technology like graph. So in our team, we've got the very strong evangelists for graphs and for Graph and Neo4j, but we've also got, say, data scientists who've been trained on relational databases or big data platforms, and that we introduce to Graph. And I think one thing you see is sort of the people that are getting exposed to Graph for the first time, and then starting to understand how they do feature engineering differently, or they use things like the graph to vectors capability to change their AI/ML models. There's sort of this penny drop moment where they see, hold on, I can, my models are going to be better. They're going to be more efficient. I can use more. When we operationalize these, they'll drive more real-time outcomes and those sorts of things. So I can see that. Don't have to look far. I can sort of see that excitement in the team as they get exposed to this. I think the other thing just emerging on the horizon, and getting quite not too technical, but just some some conversations we're having with the Neo4j team and how this works as we go through. So where Graph can handle transactions or the asset compliance getting stronger and stronger in time. So that becomes really important and an enabler for things like digital twins that can do shorter processing time, where data streaming into the system, those sorts of things. So that I guess integrity of the graph handling those transactions becomes really, really useful as we can see these use cases that the graph not just serves as sort of a data science tool, but really an operational backbone for some of our clients as well. So lots of exciting stuff.
We're in for exciting times. Thank you very much. You call it a penny drop moment, eureka moment, aha moment. I mean, I just, got that feeling when you were talking about, graphs being the connected data foundation. And, I like to steal the phrase of one big vendor, hello world. It is really now hello connected world. With that, Chris, thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for helping us understand where we are today, where we're moving forward, and where the market is moving forward, and how Deloitte and Neo4j is going to bring more value to the customers as we progress. Again, thank you so much.
Thanks, Daniel.